Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Well, I am about to go in on the story of Jason Derulo spending $112,000 on drinks to celebrate. And I'm ready for those of you who are going to say, well, it's his money. He can do what he wants to with his money. Guess what? You are absolutely right. But this is my opinion. And I'm entitled to that as well. And so I'm about to go in on this. Several of you sent this story to me. I had already seen the story. Hadn't had a chance to weigh in on it though. So I'm finally getting around to it, and here we go. My opinion on this subject matter is very, very simple. It's kind of funny. It comes on the heels of a post that I had placed on my community tab on the channel here, as well as on Facebook. And I was talking about how Black people boast of their annual buying power. And there's different numbers that they've tossed out to say that this is Black buying power. I'm not going to really focus on that number because not everyone agrees on what that number is. That is not the real point of this video. The point that I want to make to connect to that post that I made and this story is the fact that he is not the only so-called Black person who blows this kind of money. Yes, I said blow. $112,000 on drinks. So let me just give a short list of things that Black people are blowing money on, okay? Hair, nails, gym shoes, food, clothes, coats, glasses, leather, jackets, all kinds of things. Now, I'm not talking about no other group of people. I know they spend money too, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about so-called Black people. The things that we spend a lot of money on. Okay, things that have no value. There was a video that was put out years ago where they were trying to encourage Black people to read. They were saying, get a book, read a book. You know what I'm saying? And in that video, they were talking about how Black people like to buy spinning rims and stuff like that for their vehicles. Okay, so there's a whole list of nonsensical things that Black people spend money on. And that's not every last one of us, because many of us, we understand the value of land and home ownership and things of that nature, but not enough of us do. That's another subject that I'm going to visit at a later date. But back to this fella spending $112,000 on drinks. One thing that we always talk about, many of us, not just on this channel, but many channels, we are always talking about how our money bounces, sometimes not even once within the Black community. As soon as it reaches our hands, it bounces right back out the door, you see? And so with this young man, I can guarantee that whatever place it was that he spent this $112,000, I can assure you that the drinks were not made by so-called Black people. Him spending that kind of money on drinks, the wineries and the drink makers, I can assure you were not so-called Black people. So those people were laughing all of the way to the bank. Now, the establishment where he spent that money, now, I don't know if that was a Black establishment or not, but chances are that too was owned by someone who was not Black. So everybody is laughing and smiling and grinning to the bank because this Black man wanted to spend $112,000 on drinks, you see. And I'm pretty sure he is proud of that, and a lot of other people are probably proud of him as well. And like I said, some of you are probably thinking, so what? It's his money. But see, it's that type of thinking that get our people in all kinds of trouble. We just don't think that we should challenge anything. Of course, I know that I can't and no one else can tell anyone what to do with their money, but we are certainly entitled to our opinion on Black people wasting money and buffooning it away. You see, we've got to learn how to teach and educate our young people on what is important. Because as long as we have the mindset of, look, I can do what I want to do, it's my thing, I can do what I want to do. Oh my goodness, as long as we have that mindset, we don't want no one correcting us or saying anything about our folly and our foolishness, we will always be on the bottom. But there will always be those of us who are going to rebuke this type of thing. If I heard one of my children spending that kind of money on drinks, I would be so upset. They would know. I don't care if they were grown. They would know and understand. As a matter of fact, they already know and understand that me and my husband see that as a foolish move. And so they probably would keep it quiet, wouldn't even want us to know that they made such a stupid decision or choice to spend $112,000 on drinks. You see, I would expect someone to spend that kind of money buying land or a home or something like that. But on drinks? That's the type of clowning around our people do. And like I said before, he is not the only one doing this. There are so many rich, deep pocket black folk who are spending all kinds of crazy money on ludicrous things. But let me take you back a little bit to those who are not deep pockets, those who are not rich. Let's go to the single mom who around tax time, instead of doing something worthwhile with her tax returns, she says, I'm going to treat myself to a Prada or Gucci bag or some other type of name brand for $2,500 for one purse. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've heard stories like that where young women would say they're going to treat themselves around tax time to a purse that costs $2,500. That is such a stupid investment, such an ignorant purchase when you're a person who doesn't have that much money. You're getting a tax refund and you're spending $2,500 on a purse. I know some of you may not like these kinds of rebukes. You're always saying you're so judgmental. You let people do what they want to do. Okay, you can. I can't stop you from doing what you want to do. I can't. But guess what? The scripture tells us that we, the children of Yashrael, are going to judge nations. And this is not a judgment. It's an opinion. To say that someone is foolish for spending $2,500 on a purse is not a judgment. Okay? But it certainly is a foolish thing to do when you don't have that much money. I mean, for goodness sake, you can buy an acre of land for $2,500 in some areas. Okay? So, again, I just want to weigh in on this subject because it was shared with me. And of course, these are the types of things that we like to talk about because the scripture says, cry aloud and spare not, and lift up our voices like trumpets in Zion, and show our people their transgressions. Okay? Not saying that this is a transgression, but this is certainly one of those things that make us look very foolish as a people when we already have situations that keep us at the bottom. And I don't care what you're celebrating, how many record sales you have, or how much money you have, throwing that kind of money around when the black community is struggling deeply. And we are talking about spending power and buying power. And we got large groups of our people. This is why people say that our buying power is pretty high, because you have enough of us who do have certain amounts of money to where you're just blowing it on nonsense. Look at all of the celebrities. Look at all the sports figures. Look at all of the movie stars and just people like that. Wasting money. Wasting money. And they think that it's okay. And no one else wants you to challenge that either. I'm going to say it again. I know that I can't tell folk what to do with their money, but I am certainly entitled to my opinion. It was a foolish use of money, period. Okay? That is my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video. And with that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.